This is Assisi Beach in northern Portugal, and in February it's empty. I have the beach for myself and for my dogs, and we walk here twice a day, and it's just wonderful. When I decided to move to Portugal, the biggest challenge for me was to find a way to bring my two Rhodesian Ridgebacks in the cabin with me. Since there are no flights, direct flights from Los Angeles to Portugal, I decided to divide the trip in two parts. LA to the East Coast, and then from the East Coast into Portugal. For the first flight between LA and New York, we flew on Delta. Delta is a very pet-friendly, and they help you. They have a special line you call. You don't make the booking online. You have to call in and give the information, and they'll let you know what you need. And then I prepared the documents. They needed to be certified service dogs to fly in the cabin. Emotional support dogs are not allowed anymore. So you need to certify all the documents and a trainer that you testify that they were trained by him. So I got all that, got the documents, got the approval from Delta, bought an extra seat on the flight for each dog so they can stay in the floor in front of this empty seat. At the airport, Delta didn't offer any special service for me and all my luggage and my dogs. I had to stay in line for check-in. I was on the last to board the plane, and that was kind of chaotic for me because it was my first time for me and the dogs, and they were a little bit scared of the whole situation, so it was kind of hard, and Delta didn't help at all. But we were able to fly. It was a 4-hour flight. We arrived in New York at 6:30 in the morning. So I booked a hotel for the day. We rest and walk with the dogs in Central Park. They play in the fields with the other dogs. It was a very relaxing and, exercise-filled day for them. So they got tired. Our next flight would be at midnight of the same day. So we headed to Newark to take the flight on TAP, the Portuguese airline. For the international flight, there is a whole set of documents different from the domestic flight that you need to prepare. The best way to do it is to find a reliable veterinarian that can guide you through, because they're going to do the paperwork that your dog needs to travel internationally and connect with the American government to get all the approvals that you need to show to the Portuguese authorities before you board the plane. Also, you need to communicate with the airport that you are arriving to, Lisbon or Porto, to let them know that you're coming with the dogs, and you send the documents ahead of time so they can approve you. Once you get there, they know that you have all the documents necessary. That's a very important part, and you need to find the correct emails to send these documents ahead of time. So once we arrived at Newark Airport, we check in with TAP, and they check all the dogs, the documents and all, and we went to the gate, and they said it was a full flight, and it would be hard to bring these two big dogs into the plane, so they weren't sure if we were able to fly that night. So we stay at the gate waiting for our call, and all of a sudden somebody came to us and said, look, we are ready to board. We will be the first one on the flight so we can accommodate the dogs. 6 hours flight from Newark to Porto, and it was an incredible experience for us. The dogs were able even to sit on the seats during the flight. So there was really a blast for us to fly TAP, and we are very thankful for that. Once we arrived in Porto, no issues at all. The veterinarian knew my name, I knew who he was, and we just spent like 5 minutes in their office. They saw the official documents, and we are into the country in 5 seconds. Customs didn't ask one question about anything about the dogs. We just went outside, there was a car waiting for us, and they took us home. My recommendation, never put your dog in the belly of the plane. There are so many horror stories. There are successful stories too, but why take a chance? This is the beginning of my journey in Portugal. I have a lot of stories to tell and a lot of new experience in this new country with my dog. So subscribe and follow us in this new adventure.